Welcome back everybody to another Rumbles video here with Chris, and today we're going to be going over the prominent blue deck that is coming out in Saiyan Showdown, which is going to be Cabba, of course. Out of the two leaders that are coming out in this set, which is Cabba and the Kale leader, Kale is, I don't think, very good. I think a lot of people have already talked about that, and unfortunately I was trying to make a video for it and I couldn't make a deck that I felt was reliable in the competitive scene. It is, I guess, if you want to have a fun deck that's not as good as SS4 Vegeta that ramps, go ahead and play it, but it's very, very difficult to make in its current form. I spent about 20 minutes making the Cabba deck just because I kind of already knew, like, well, I'm like, all right, you know, this goes with this goes with this. But Kale, it was very difficult to find something that worked with it, so unfortunately no Kale deck profile currently. Maybe in the next few sets, maybe we'll get some stuff that kind of works with it, but currently it's just really unplayable. But that video, you know, does not exist. We're going to go over, obviously, Cabba today. So the Cabba leader has been compared to a lot of people in the community as sort of a yellow version of Icarus, and I don't know if that's fair to say, because the decks play different, but they, you know, they're kind of playing the same sort of stuff with the blue-yellow stuff. This just being a blue leader. So on the front side, you have choose one, you use 6 card in your hand, discard it, and when you do, you draw 2 cards. So you have to discard a card, a U6 card, to actually draw. It's a little strange, but you run a lot of U6 stuff anyway, so it doesn't make a huge difference, I feel. Awaken at 4, when you have a unison of 2 costs in play, you then draw 2, and then take life 2, you have 6 left, which is weird for a blue leader to be a draw 2 and not a restand anything. So it's a little strange, because then if you awaken on turn 2, you're tapping yourself out and not having access to any energy, which is a little weird. But who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe they'll make a unison that untaps or something. I don't know. But on the other side, on his awakened side, auto once per turn. When it is your opponent's turn, you play 1 Universe 6 card. You switch up to one of your blue energy to active mode. So this is whenever you play a Universe 6 card on your opponent's turn. Okay, which obviously includes negates or rivals. When this card attacks, you draw a card, and then Spirit Boost, choose up to 1 U6 blue 6 card from your drop area and combo with it with the skills negated for the turn. So it just allows you to get a free combo off, which we'll kind of go into some different combos here. But before we do that, before we go over the actual deck, we're going to go over the 3 cards that I feel are pretty prominent in this deck, in this archetype of what you should be playing out of the new set. So first one's going to be Hit Battlefield Manipulator. This is the unison 2-drop blue auto. When if it's your opponent's turn, whenever you play a blue battle card using an arrival skill, you got to mark it with this card. So it's pretty good, right? Activate main +1 is a draw 1. You just hard plus, which is nice. And then activate main for 2 blue if your leader's blue, or a Universe 6 card and your opponent has 3 more energy. Flip your opponent's leader over to the front side. If you do, your opponent can attack with their leader, awaken, or wish skills until the end of their next turn, which is pretty good, right? This is probably the best blue unison to run with the deck, mainly because of the draw, and you're gonna be playing a lot of arrival stuff in this deck, so being able to gain markers on your opponent's turn is pretty valuable. Then we have SS2 Kefla, Lightning Speed. So this is the big one everyone's been talking about. A lot of this has to do with the fact that this is, I wouldn't say it's taking the spot of Bojack of being the best arrival card, but it's pretty close. The only problem is that this is a 3 cost, you know, so as Bojack was a 1. But this is a 3 cost arrival, 2 blue, 1 yellow. This is a double strike blocker. When this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and play it at the bottom of the deck. Very, very good. Activate main, limit 1 if your opponent has 3 more energy, and you choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. This card gains dual attack for the turn. If the card you discarded with a copy of this card, you draw 2 cards and switch one of your opponent's cards to rest mode. So this is more than likely going to be a 3 or 4 in every deck, based off the activate main. Like, you're probably only going to get maybe 1 of the activate mains off a game, but being able to have this on board and then you know, pitching a card to draw 2 and then tap something is it's insane. That's why I think people are kind of comparing it to like the Bojack level of blue yellow brokenness, just because this card puts in a lot of work. Obviously has no defense, so can be easily removed by a lot of cards in the game, right? So it has no barrier, no deflect, no nothing, so it can be hit by a lot of different things. Obviously this is a really bad card to play in the blue matchups, just because blue's gonna just God Sealing this back to your hand and you just tap 3 energy for no reason, right? So it definitely has its downside. Then you have Vegeta and Cabba, Lessons Learned. This is a 19k dual attack, a rival for either a blue or a yellow, which is very unique. This card is played, just one of your opponent's battle cards and cost 4 or less in rest mode and plays at the bottom of its owner's deck. So opponent swinging at you with something that's 4 or less. Maybe it's a double strike, maybe it's a crit. Maybe they tack on a bunch of combo cards to it. You can just rival this out, boop, bottom deck it, and then the card's gone. Very, very unique. So these are 3 of the cards that I think are very volatile in the Cabba deck, and I'm going to go over that list that I made for you guys right now. Alright guys, so here is the list that I came up with that I do feel is a pretty powerful blue list for this leader. So this is a 52 card deck. I think 52 is fine. I think probably 53 would probably be the cap. Just from going over some test hands on untap and stuff, it definitely feels like there's some certain cards you do want to hit, so obviously consistency is going to be key. But this being a deck where we run Saiyan Instincts, having 52 is fine, right? Okay, so obviously we kind of went over the Kale already, but this is going to be one of your big boss monsters, obviously, for the deck. Where you're going to be able to play this out for 3. If you play this out, you want to play this out on your opponent's turn, obviously. Playing this out on your opponent's turn allows you to restand an energy and then bottom deck something. That's very powerful. So you can bottom deck the card that is attacking, or something else that's on the board. But then you have a 30k blocker as well, right? So being able to rival this on your opponent's turn, super, super good. We also have obviously Vegeta and Cabba, which we already talked about. This being a very, very powerful card in itself, being able to remove smaller cards and then also having dual attack, being able to pressure most unisons and your opponent's leader on their awakened side. So this is good for board clearing as well as just being able to put pressure on the leader. And we have the other arrival card, which is going to be Champa and Vados. This card was super, super big back in the U6 Veggies meta, and I think it's going to obviously make a comeback now that we have a prominent U6 leader, or going to have a prominent U6 leader in the meta. So Champa and Vados, if you guys don't know, it is an arrival for 1 yellow, and this card reduces all the combo cost of all blue and yellow U6 cards in your hand by 1. Meaning, other copies of this, or Vegeta, or Kefla, or any other U6 cards that you add to the deck that have a 1k combo, they will all be 0. There also is a TP, there's a TP Kefla and Kale, or Khalifa and Kale, that is a 2 cost to, it's kind of like a grade 8 for combo cost. It's a 2 cost 10k. This would make that cost 1. If you have multiple of these in play, which I believe you can, the permanent should trigger again, so you should be able to make those cards free. It's a lot of cards to commit on the board in this meta, but it's possible. And this card has another permanent. If this card is removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill, you may choose 1 card in your hand and place it in the drop. If you do, this card remains in the battle area and switch up to one of your opponent's energy to rest mode. So, basically, when we put this on board, if your opponent wants to charismatic or something on board, right? You just pitch any card in your hand, and then you can keep it up. And then you also tap on your opponent's energy. So it ends up being kind of a trade-off. Like, you're losing 1 card from your hand, but they're also losing an energy for any form of plays they want to make on their turn. Obviously, one of the best pitches off of that is going to be your Saiyan Instincts. So they want to hit this card, you pitch a Saiyan Instincts, you tap something, and then on your next turn, you just tap 2 to draw 2, right? Really, really powerful. Hit Rapid Movement. This is going to be a very powerful card for the deck. This is a blue-yellow charge you can use, and then when you have a multicolor card in your energy, this card becomes a free combo. The reason why we're using this is we're not using the Zamasu super combo, so we can use Vegeta and Zeno here. Zeno, obviously, to pick up energy, put it down, and Vegeta. This card very cool. If you end up, putting a yellow or a blue yellow in your energy, like maybe one of these, you can Zamasu to pull it up and then put this down, and then as long as you have another multicolor in the energy, this card comes in active mode. This card obviously not being as good anymore after the errata, as you can see here, only hitting battle cards 4 or less. Still is very good though for any blue-yellow deck. You should be running it at 4. Being able to bounce 4 or less, or just being able to play it and then tap something, any battle card, and then draw a card. It's still very, very powerful. Still something that you should be running in this deck. So it kind of takes care of the top line there. Obviously, we kind of gone over hit already. Hit being a way for you to just reoccur value, being able to draw, being able to gain markers when you arrival stuff. And then your leader obviously triggering that as well, being able to restand an energy whenever you arrival into these guys is very, very powerful. So basically this and the Vegeta would technically be free after you arrival them. You can use your leader ability to spirit boost, a combo with one of these from the drop, combo one of these, and then play one of these out, and then restand the energy. This gains a marker. It's pretty good, right? God Sealing, of course, since we're running a 2-drop unison, playing God Sealing is obviously a plus. And we have this card here. So Super Saiyan Cabba Proud Zenith. This is an interesting card. So it's a 3-cost, activate main or battle. If you have 3 or more blue and or yellow cards in your play or combo area, place a card from your hand. So this is kind of the weird thing, right? Is the battle cards that we're playing here, we have Zamasus, Vegetas, Champa, Vados, and Kefla. This is kind of the idea of the deck. And you're gonna have to keep, you know, a lot of these on board. Obviously you can have maybe one of these on board, maybe you combo with a card and then you arrival a card to restand an energy. You can play this guy out. So it's kind of weird. This having indestructible is very, very powerful. Obviously there's other blue cards you can play in the meta. Any of the 1-drop barrier guys or just a 1-drop cantrip, you can play those as well. They didn't really go with the idea of the deck with the Universe 6 stuff, so that's why we didn't really play it. But this is a card to come out for 3 energy. Unique dual attack block. When this card is played, choose 1. If it's your turn, you draw 2. If it's your opponent's turn, you may place one of your opponent's energy battle cards that cost 4 or less in the bottom of the deck, and then restand an energy. And at the end of your turn, you switch this card to active mode. So this is a really interesting card, right? This allows you to, for 3 energy, hopefully play on your opponent's turn. You play it out. You can bottom that something. You play it on your turn. It's 3 energy. You can then swing it to twice and then restand it as a blocker. It's also just a 5k combo as well, and just a solid blue card because we don't have a lot of solid blue in the deck that we can combo with. So this is also an option for you as well. And also it is a U6 card as well, so it gains all the effects from all the other stuff, right? D-Magic, Sense of Being, it's pretty standard stuff, but this is the new blue Floodgate. Kind of like Violent Rays. Sister's Determination. So if your leader's U6, you negate the attack, choose 1 blue card in your hand, discard. If you do, your opponent can only attack with 1 more time for the turn with a battle card or unison with 20k power or more. I believe this is still getting a ruling. I believe they can only attack, I believe if they can attack with stuff, it's weird, right? Because like the wording would suggest that they can attack with anything that's under 20k, but anything over 20k they can attack with it once. I believe this, I don't know how the wording is yet. Maybe by the time this video comes out, maybe they'll have something. But the deck saying that you can only attack with one of these battle cards or unison 20k or more for the turn. That's it. You also have an activate battle. If it's your opponent's turn, choose one of your cards and it gets 10k for the battle. Then choose one of your blue mono energy and switch it to active mode. So it's basically a free 10k, right? You activate battle, you pump your leader by 10k, pump a battle card by 10k, and then you switch your energy to active mode, which allows you to sense being and do other stuff. Baby Hatch, SS4, it's pretty standard stuff here. This is just for normal blue decks, and then your 1 Champa. Now, I think the deck is pretty combo based, obviously, so it's kind of a weird version of something that you would see from Icarus. I think this deck does similar things to Icarus. Just having the ability to restand energy, though, is pretty important. I think the flex spots here, you can probably maybe take 2 of these away, possibly add a different arrival as well. But I do think this deck is pretty interesting going forward. I'm sure some people will be playing it at Nats. And after that, I'm sure we'll see it a lot of my locals because there's a lot of people who are very excited about this leader. So we'll kind of see what we go from there. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys like the deck. Give me your opinions down below. Let me know what you guys think. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.